Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I.
You already know what it is. Your boy Nas God, hiphopisreal.com, and we are sitting here in Harlem at the Expert Opinion home right now. You know what I'm saying? With none other than Jim, man, the legendary Jim, man. What's going on?
It's a pleasure to meet you. I just got pounded up. First time meeting the voice behind the camera. I watched enough of Hip Hop Is Real to recognize the voice, but to meet the man himself, man, is dope, man. We here about to jump into this Expert Opinion, man, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to see what we're gonna talk about, because I think that's the thing that Matt was saying is we don't really go in with no script or particular topics. I kind of like that.
Nah, real talk, man, and it's about to get crazy in there. But Jen, you know I gotta ask you, man. Remembering, shout out to
right on time. Right on time.
Save it for the show.
You knew Aces.
Save it for the show.
You knew Aces was gonna be punctual. I've been here since 6:30. I'm like, what up, man? How you doing, man? Definitely. We just started chopping it up here, so
that's cool.
You want to just save it? Well, I don't think there'll be overlap.
Matt, we're gonna be with Matt for a minute. Cause he said he gotta leave early.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm ready to rock at any time though. So,
I just gotta say, I remember seeing you, man. You know, when I was much younger, man, at 106 in Park, you was ripping and running, killing shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, what got you into this battle rap shit, man?
So, I mean, just to put a little bit of backstory in it, I got into hip hop. Right, we on Hip Hop Is Real. I mean, I discovered and fell in love with it, I would say, as young as 12, 13. And this is in Miami. So, how the battling comes into play, I think it happened in a very organic way, because by 15 or 16, in my heart of hearts, I knew that this is what I want to do. In terms of, like, especially at that time, the mindset was, yo, get a deal. Right? I mean, it's that simple. Get a deal, get on, you know, and be a rap star. I mean, I'll just be brutally honest, right? The guap, the girls, the whips, all of that, right? So all of that to a 16-year-old, which I'm guessing is what a lot of 16-year-olds are after now, too. But one thing at that time that I knew was that I don't want to say it's because I'm Asian that I had, like, extra hurdles. I don't want to say that. But I think a lot of people tell me, too, that, yo, like, I think at that time, I'm talking like, you know, like 98, 97, 90, you know, like, it's a different climate. I think people were like, yo, we don't see that many. Like, I'm talking about Asian rap artists specifically. So to me, what that has to do with battling is that even if it was subconsciously, I knew that there was something or some way that I had to really solidify my spot. Not with gorillas. Not with gorillas. I just had to solidify my spot. We gonna talk about the hat. I had to solidify my spot in terms of within the culture, if that makes sense. And to me, whether it was 2005, whether it was 1995, whether it's 2025, there's no better way to solidify your spot than bars. And just straight, you say you nice, I say I'm nice. Say no more, let's get into it, right? And I think no matter how battling continues to evolve with the leagues and how it can turn into a business and all these different ways for it to evolve, I think at the core of it, why people are so enamored and in love with this particular kind of element within the hip-hop big picture is because, yo, when it all boils down to it, it's pure skills. You know, it's pure, like, you watch someone kick a rhyme and you either be like, yo, I rock with him, or you be like, nah, that ain't it, man. Like, you know what I mean? So that's how I fell in love with battling and why it was such a big part of my overall rap journey. And then simultaneously, you know, by the time I was like kind of really trying to get my foot in the game, right? Graduating high school. So I'm like 18, 19. A big thing was I knew that I had to kind of break away from Miami too, because I had made my runs around there as far as like doing all the battle events that they would have on a yearly basis, which was not a lot, because this is pre-grind time. It's pre-everything, you know?
That's crazy.
But I made a move to New York. I came here 2001, I remember. It was right after 9/11, actually. 9/11 happened, and me and my fam moved to New York in October, the month after that. And it just made sense for me. Like, as far as, like, if I'm going to continue to put in work, it might as well be here in the Mecca. So, you know, and even how I crossed paths with Matt one time, we didn't meet each other, but he said, yo, I was in a battle at an event that you was up there battling, and I had seen you already then. So this is pre-106 and all of that, too.
Yep. Yo, I mean, it's been a journey.
It's been a crazy journey. I didn't even get into the whole 106 yet, and then before that, you know, kind of like dipping. This is the thing about me. I feel like sometimes people give me more credit. I don't want to say that I deserve, but I also feel like I'm getting to a point where I'm trying to find a balance in my own mind. Like, I know I'm great, but I also try to not let it get to my own head, you know what I mean? Because I think the thing is, like, for example, I did one Smack DVD. I only did one Smack DVD.
Versus Verse?
Versus Verse, yeah. But I guess because at the time, it made such an impact in barbershops or later on people watched it online or whatever, that people are like, yo, when when we gonna see you back on Smack? Like, they make it sound like, you know, like I kind of ran through that, which I know a lot of these guys did. Like, I know Mav, even someone like Solomon, even someone like any one of these, a lot of them that really put in work on not just Smack DVDs, but events. But I guess for me, what was cool was, even though I didn't really like dive deep into each one, into any of them, I made my rounds at each one, right? So yeah, so when they say Jen, they be like, yeah, Jen did the Smack thing, Jen did the Fight Club thing, Jen went out Midwest to the Scribble Jams, you know, with the lyrical miracles, as they like to call it, you know what I mean? Like, and I prided myself on that too. I think that's the thing that I didn't think too much about back then, but now that I look back on it, I like the idea that, yo, I battle anywhere. Like, it isn't, because you know now there's a lot of division too. I think it's getting better. I feel like it's transitioning out of that phase where it was like, yo, the backpackers, you know, the grind timers, the URLs and the KOTDs. I feel like now the most beautiful thing is that it's one big pot, you know what I mean? But for me, even at that time, I never was like, yo, I only, you know, I get right on the backpack cypher battles, but don't put me in front of like a quote-unquote street dude. Nah. Because I mean, even when I was battling like in Miami, when I was like 15 or 16, you're not thinking about any of that. You're just at the mall and you're just like looking like, yo, who rhyme? You know, you're not breaking down what that person's persona is. So I think that's a good thing overall.
Nah, I mean, what's your thoughts on the evolution of battle rap, where it's at now, from what you remember it from when you started?
I have an interesting thought about it. When someone asks me, yo, what do I think about the evolution of it? Overall, it's beautiful, like amazingly beautiful, just to see it grow and blossom. However, I do be having like these little kind of deeper layered thoughts. And the first thing I'll refer to is, for example, the Total Slaughter event. You know what I mean? Huge, right? Yo, Eminem's backing it, Shady's backing it. They had a TV show that was leading up to the event, you know what I mean? Road to Total Slaughter. They got all the battlers living in the house. Yo, if I was like 18 or let's just say still in that battling chapter of my life. I know, all right. Yo, now that you want to get into it now. Okay. My point is, if we had it at then, I would have been like, yo, this is a dream come true. But here's kind of like the gift and the curse. I was in the building watching the Total Slaughter event, the final event, where it was like Joe versus Hollow, you know what I mean? I think Lux and Mook was at that. Okay. I think a thing that was evident is that maybe sometimes this thing we love, this battling thing, like yo, this like really the meat and potatoes of it, might not be meant for like bright lights and like I just think keep getting in the way.
No,
it's cool. It's kind of dope that it was kind of like flying in and out. We in the jungle, time to tell them now. But I was getting back to my point is that I definitely had a moment. I was like, you know what? Maybe it is meant to grow and blossom, but there's a certain threshold that it should reach, and that's the tricky part, because you want to see everybody do good, you want to see everybody eat, get their bag, and continue to push their pen and the culture forward. However, like, you know what I mean, like, imagine, because it was just a lot, you know what I mean, like the and I don't even just mean like, yo, how big the venue is, I don't mean like that, but just all the extra, like, Total Slaughter, Road to Total Slaughter, and the trailers and all of that, and it's great, you know what I mean, it's real WWE-ish, right, like, and which is great, I'm not saying that that's bad, but sometimes I wonder, like, well, at the core of it, what is it? And it's not all that, you get what I'm saying? And I think sometimes the missteps is when the essence of it gets lost because of all that, because of the trailers and the face-offs. So it's a double-edged sword, you get what I'm saying? Because, like, there was no face-offs back in the day. You basically was ready to battle on site, you know what I mean? So how could there even be a face-off, you know? So I love it. Like, as a fan, I love it. Like, I love watching Face Off too. I ain't even gonna rob you. I've been watching sometimes the Face Off might be better than the battle.
Did you see Arsenal and Cassidy's Face Off yet?
I watched the first 5 minutes of it while I was coming out here, and I didn't want to crash the web, so I turned it off.
She was getting...
I might be the only dude that watches Face Offs at red lights. Like, I press it, and then I'll be driving thinking I'm gonna just listen to the audio, but you can't just listen to the audio.
You gotta see the
yeah, but that looks like it's gonna be something interesting too.
Does this get you hyped though, to get in your bag, or?
It gets me hyped as a fan, but I'll be honest, like, nothing has happened so far that has gotten me hyped to where it's like, yo, I need to get in my bag. Nothing yet. And that's not to discredit any of these guys. If anything, every time I see one of these like epic proportion battles, it makes me more conscious of the fact that I can't just randomly jump in. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It has actually the opposite effect. So it's not like I watch like a crazy intense joint, crazy clash, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to get back in right away. No. On the contrary, it actually makes me more vividly aware that, Jen, this thing has evolved into another animal. Mm-hmm. And don't you even dare think of saying, yo, what's up, Smack? What's up, Beasley? Yeah, talk to me. Don't do it, you know?
Oh, so you think it's tough right now?
It's super tough. That's my take on it. Like, I would feel that, I think I was chatting with Hollow about it, that if and when there was even a chance that I were to dip my toe back in, it would require a lot of, like, I guess if we use like the boxing analogy, a lot of conditioning, like whether it's both the pen game and equally as important as the pen game is the performance game. I think that's probably where the biggest leap is forward from my era, or the era where I was active. The performance game is a whole nother thing now. Like, I'm confident that I could do it, but I'm just very conscious to the fact that it's not something that I can just write like that. You know what I mean? You gotta watch game tapes. You gotta
pull up, man.
No, man. I mean, you know, I think
I know.
I think the thing is that people that
you'll have the opportunity. You got the opportunity all day.
You know what? I'm grateful that yeah, for sure. I agree that the opportunity's always there, and I'll admit and I'll say, you know, pardon me if I could be cocky even just for a hint. I know that if I threw my name in the ring, that it would be a draw. Even if people tune in just to see if it's a train wreck. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, what's he going? Is this going to be like a, you know what I mean? And I feel like I would come in a weird thing too, because they couldn't position me as an industry guy because I didn't come in from that.
Nah,
you know what I mean? I came in through the battling. However, at the same time, they would still also say, because I have been signed at one point, they might try to be like, here we go, these industry guys trying to come into it. So it would be like an interesting dynamic even on that end. But I'll close the chapter real quick on that topic right here and say that, yo, man, if I were to do it, it would only be because I want to, and not because of a bag or because someone's like, yo, man, you know, you need to do it. You know what I mean? Because anything other than my heart wanting to do it, I'd rather
First, that's the slogan, 2020, here we come. Drop your ballot at the booth just to prove he makes moves. And guess what? Everybody gets $1,000. Studies show it's bound to help economy, making sure we all eat, not just the wealthy. Now I must confess, the country's a mess. God bless us all, it's all just a test. Why not nominate the king of debates? Yeah, it's true with the crew winning both state to state.
Keep it G, don't change up. Step your game up. What the fuck you think you in the game for? Get your change up. Keep it G, don't change up. Step your game up. What the fuck you think you in the game for? Grizzy told me, nigga, step your game up. Get your change up. But you better not change up. Get your game up. That's what you in this game for. So get your change up, young nigga,